All right, everyone, welcome back to Boyd's Phoenix Reborn tournament. This is the semifinals now between F2 and UCA, the lizard variety of the UCA, because the UCA had two teams. It's the semifinals. It is actually now double elimination. So we're going to get some spoilers if you haven't watched the other games. Also, before we get into the recorded games, these were streamed live by Blackadder's Plays on Twitch. If you wanted to watch them live, you can go back, find Blackadder's Plays, watch his stream. He's also the guy that gave me the recorded games, so thanks to Blackadder. Or if you like Boyd stream, I know he'll do the recorded games and put them on YouTube, so feel free to watch that. Just giving you options. But anyway, our four teams left in the tournament are F2, UCA Lizards, DOD, and oh man, I'm missing the last one. Oh, JSS. Last four. Four good teams, and we're at a double elimination point here, where losing in this semifinals doesn't get you eliminated. Gets you down to the lower bracket, then you kind of can fight your way back to the final match. But let's get into the game before it gets too late. We're in F2 versus UCA Lizards, game number 1. This will be a home map of one of the clans. I'm not sure which. All right, what do we got here? Mediterranean. Well, I think this tells me that F2's map. It's the first one on Mediterranean, and we are looking down here. Don't be distracted by Count Von Count, who is an extra observer. We've got UCA, I kill, you die on the bottom. So we're looking at Team UCA. He's Kronos. We've got Hades from Domantas, Damantis probably, and Poseidon from Mastrius. I like Poseidon, Hades, Kronos. Very good team composition here. However, I think in this lone situation here, I would rather have the Gaia instead of Kronos. The trees that can be given to your Greek allies is just so strong. Rather see a Gaia here than the Kronos. On the top right, we've got Kronos from GMZ, F2. We've got Icaro as Hades, and we've got Player as Zeus. Hello, Mackie. Blossom Goose. Good to have you guys here. And Cuddy Danks, of course. So we've got, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, we've got a mirror matchup here. And in my humble opinion, I don't think this is the best set of gods for this mirror matchup. The Gaia trees, not only does it save a storehouse, they also gather faster. It's on paper a 10% faster gather rate, but I think in reality for Greek, I could look it up to see exactly what it really is, but I think it's effectively like a 13 or 14%, right around there, upgrade, along with no storehouse. So that really speeds up the Greek ally. Obviously, the one of them will have to make a storehouse because it takes 2 minutes. But yeah, you put trees to your one buddy, trees to your next buddy, and then give yourself the trees. And yeah, the Kronos and the Gaia maybe would be a little bit scary, but you got two Greeks. I mean, if one Greek just sends down a couple heroes, you're fine. We see a deconstruction coming in here. A very slow deconstruction with the villager already down there. So Icaro is ready for it. Did we see the other Kronos use his deconstruction? We did. I think it was on here. Kind of a decision you have to make as the Kronos here. Do you want the 430 advance? Or do you want the 4-minute advance? Oh, what do we got here? We got red. I don't think he's going for the 4-minute. And purple is definitely not going for the 4-minute. So both going for the 430 advance, which is a little bit safer. 4-minute Kronos advance cuts, you get some idle time. You kind of got to cross things out a little bit. So you're less economy, so you're kind of all in and hoping that the extra like 30 seconds for the age up gives you a ton of value. But now we're seeing the age ups coming in. We've got, hold on, it's a little bit loud to me. Athena. I imagine we're going to see 4 Athenas, 2 Prometheuses. Yep. Look at that. Almost exactly the same time. Ooh. A Hermes. Oh, because he's Poseidon, so there's no Athena. I would almost rather see a Pestilence, though. I like this. Very effectively built the storehouse without any idle time. The way he crammed his villagers up against the gold mine first and then built the storehouse, that was pretty nice. Also, these guys, well, now they don't. Yeah, I would like to see the Pestilence here, because you put it on the enemy Kronos, and it would really slow the boat production down. I mean, a whole minute of being behind your enemy Kronos. So I think, I mean, the ceasefire gives you more options later. But if you can use Pestilence to win the water, does it really matter what happens later? Because if you win the water hard, you probably win anyway. We don't have town centers in water range, which makes it a little bit less interesting later on. Though it does give a little less value to the water. And it's Mediterranean. We will start seeing the dance of the boats. If you're going to advance it 4 minutes like this, there's really no point in coming down to the dock. Really, in this situation, see, this is a better plan, is to go at villagers rather than hit the docks. Oh, there's a little line of sight though, they won't see. But like this little pressure here by GMZ is kind of nice. We can see he sent these villagers way over to here, which is going to put I Kill You Die kind of behind on boat production, because that's quite a bit of idle time. So we see the double on this side with Icaro going over here along with GMZ. There should be a deconstruct coming soon, in which case GMZ, or not GMZ, Icaro is not ready for that. Oh, he was housed, or not Icaro. I Kill You Die. Why there's so many names? Yeah, it's up. I don't know why he hasn't used deconstruct yet. I guess maybe because Domantas showed up to help out here. But yeah, so far F2, I mean, Mediterranean is kind of their home map. They don't lose on Mediterranean. Don't lose at all. So, see if this continues to be a win. Ooh, the Minotaur being back is very annoying, because GMZ did not build any or keep his oracles back, and we had the Hades Sentinels, and we've got the Minotaur over here. Oh, if he pushes the citizen, oh, it just got out. So there's parts there where you can kind of push it in. Well, if he doesn't notice, it doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, did not get bolted. Oh, come on, he did not notice. I Kill You Die has not even seen this pressure at all. But on the water, kind of pushing forward here on the left side, kind of even. Still got 3 restorations to use. Minotaur coming back over here. And okay, we've got 1 restoration used by F2. So F2 is a big restoration to begin with. But as long as F2 falls back here and kind of waits to get more ships, this should be okay, because we might see a restoration, kind of the bounce back restoration here pretty soon. But the more ships you have, the more value. Okay, the minutes almost died. Alright, that Minotaur gets dealt with, so no more Minotaurs. Any land pressure is kind of done and over with. And so we're all about the water. F2 GMZ is fighting a 2v1 here. And Force is out. Oh, that was a weird time for UCA to use their restoration. Now we have a restoration down here for player. But we're looking at about 17 votes to... Why is he running? He has more boats. This confuses me. Big fight here, though. And currently, UCA looks like they have the advantage, but the defender's advantage is going to come in here. And blue kind of maybe mismanaged some boats here. We've got yellow coming in. Ooh, to get the triple in ahead of player. Nice. Hello, kiddo. But the triple is kind of coming in a little too late. I feel like red's kind of lost most of his boats. So purple has as well. And they wisely fall back. And player coming in behind. Mediterranean really is actually the boat micro is pretty hard. As far as Age of Mythology, Mediterranean is the most mechanical of all the maps, which can make it a little bit boring as far as watching, because there's really not anything flashy that's going on. I mean, it's just boats fighting boats and yippee, but actually playing it and trying to manage the boats, there's quite a lot that goes on to it. And oh, this Ikaro's a little bit out of position here. And I don't know where Flair went. He kind of went all the way back here to think about a few things. And now he's back, and GMZ is fighting this a little too soon. Could have fallen back a little bit. Yeah, GMZ's been a little bit out of position here several times. And lost a lot of boats. And I think UCA has got a decent boat lead, although player is picking off a lot of the reinforcements. But UCA just needs to fall back a little bit further. Not be putting boats forward like this, though currently he's kind of like, what am I doing down here? This is just me. And now players retreating on the left side, and we've got kind of these boats now back collapsing. What town centers? We've got Ikaro has grabbed a second, and Domantas has also grabbed a second. And we have a restoration and a not restoration, valor, ceasefires, and these deconstructs that nobody's apparently going to use. And again, we've got oh, nice. All right. We've got nice Rifang. We'll see. This, if you wanted, I could pause this real quick and just put you in this game. It's no big deal. I can always cut it off at YouTube later. But it looks like F2 might be losing the water. This is the first time in a very long time that they've lost the water. Now, usually they got squash in. So we've got maybe a slight downgrade in skill level compared to normal, because normal you'd want squash to be here instead of Ikaro or GMZ, or both of whom are very good players. But squash and player are two of the best team players, and Ikaro, GMZ maybe not so much, but we got a little bit of a push back here now, where F2 is kind of pushing back, which is probably more so due to the fact that UCA is probably kind of settling back a little bit, grabbing town centers. Yeah, I can do that. We've got Rifang along for the ride now, kind of a halfway point join up in this first game, where we've seen kind of UCA getting the early edge a little bit here.
Two minor things. Player used Resto just on his one-on-one fight with Matrius. The Resto is so strong when you combine it at all three players, and player kind of blew it in his 1v1 situation, which is something you kind of don't see often in this high-level games. They're generally good at using it when it has its max value. And
what happened right after that, as soon as that restoration got used, then Matrius went over to fight and make it a 3v3 on water. So you kind of read, oh, restoration's used, now we can make it a full scale. And good job.
You read my mind, and that was the second point, is then Matrius did a really good job of leaving player just fighting docks or chasing, while Matrius went over and forced the 3 vs 2, and like you said, GMZ didn't back out of the 3 vs 2 quick enough and took a lot of damage, and those two things probably in the span of 30 seconds decided water.
So the big thing to look at, so it's not like water is lost by F2. It's still, F2's still fishing a couple players. But the key is the first team that get the main water advantage is also the team to get the generally get the land advantage. So on this side, it is kind of even because player already has his town center. But we see on the right that I Kill You Die has firm control of this town
This is
center.
really bad on GMZ's side because when you do lose water on this map, the pretty much only way you're going to win is if you go super aggressive on land quickly and take your opponent's third TC to get the TC advantage, which buys you time to at least get back in the game from an eco perspective.
Yes.
Because it's a lot easier to hold when you've got a 30 pop advantage over your opponent. But as soon as the TCs get even on the sides and one team has one water, they almost always win.
We see we already got a H3 for I Kill You Die and Domitas. And like, you know, the water battle is still kind of going back and forth at this point. You know, they're kind of raiding each other's boats. But it really doesn't matter a whole lot now because the damage has been done here. You gotta watch out. You don't really want to fight Remillos versus Chiro Ballista though. I don't know actually if the... Oh, he might be going straight Mythic here. But
Vortex is so strong in these Atlantean mirrors, so if he can get Mythic when his opponent's still Classic, it's like GG
but
at that point.
Ooh, we have Artemis coming up for Domitas, so I'm going to guess we would see Earthquake here. But I would rather see Kill just take this town center anyway. And well, this is how you throw away your land advantage.
That's a lot of resources and army gone for nothing.
Wow, that's not good.
I think taking that TC with the ballista there would have been difficult, though. I don't think he was in a position to take that TC with the ballista defense.
Well, if he would have had his own, I mean, that's what I'm saying is. I don't know, because he spent 1,300 resources on aging up. If he puts that 1,300 resources in an army, he has this position anyway. And the way I see it, your Vortex, nice little raid here, but it's just kind of like your raid in to eventually lose all your units unless we see like an Underworld at some point.
I actually do really like this from Matrius, though. Why?
Like
because he's ahead on eco. So by forcing this fight, this is eco that might be a wash, like 50-50 fight, like in terms of losses. But he's
turn and fight this.
Forcing player to lose vills. I still have a bit of a cough. Sorry. Forcing player to lose vills and idle time. So he's kind of slowing players' eco down. Meanwhile, he's got the fish eco. Although player's on fish still at the moment right now.
Yeah, player has kind of been on fish this whole time. Okay, here comes Domitas with the Earthquake. Ooh, they put some buildings down to kind of prep this.
This is some smart play. You do not see this like ever, and it's really smart from Mikura.
All right, the Underworld passes for Domitas. They don't have ceasefire. Only UCA has ceasefire. Domitas is quite a bit ahead of Icaro right now. Icaro is just getting...
What does Icaro have for army even? Or is that like his first army production buildings that are just going up by the
Those
TC
are his
period?
first ones. There's the Earthquake. Oh, it still takes it down. Oh, man, not quite enough.
Already the Underworld went on to 4 vills as it is. If he knocks off those vills as well, I mean, that's 4 farms that are going to get knocked off the TC, another 5 farms idle there. Their GMZ's whole eco just got wiped off by the Underworld Earthquake.
Build another citizen down, town center down. Woo. Wow, they were gonna have to have...
I hope we see like a Vortex timing, because Vortex to back this up, just...
Yeah. You know, you're right. I think this little Archer kind of play back into here really has been some value. Player, though, needs to... If he doesn't come over here quick, we're gonna have a pretty quick loss for F2, which...
This is where the water, the Montes is so far ahead of Icaro in terms of army and heroic timing that, yeah, he's mythic when Icaro is just getting heroic. So.
Right. But yeah, since I don't know.
Well, he was heroic and he has an army, so he got mythic and had an army out sooner than Icaro even got heroic.
Yeah.
Is kind of the deciding factor here.
GMZ up with Chaos, gets the Manticore. We do now finally have some units for Icaro. I haven't seen anything from I Kill You Die. It's like he's kind of building up to this vortex that he's getting his.
Has he? Yeah. Well, he's mythic and can vortex in to finally put pressure. But if he had been putting pressure on the front this whole time, then the game would really be over. He's kind of been playing it too passive while his teammate does all the work.
Okay, we've got the earthquake on the underworld, so this will clear out the underworld. And there's some villagers here, though. Ooh, there's still that ceasefire, though. He gets the ceasefire and just builds the town center if he needs to.
They're so far ahead, though. I don't think the C's is gonna, as nice as that TC would be. I feel like that just gives their opponents a chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, he might not even need it anyway. There's not enough units here. I think he'll just get it up. Maybe.
Looks like IKill's finally pushing. I mean, he's kind of been left alone for several minutes now.
Well, he put his initial resources into the fire siphon technologies, which in this situation, you just put a temple here and build an extra Hika Gigantes, and you can attack like within 30 seconds. But, I mean, look how much just one Hika and 3 destroyers. I mean, just the town center's gone that quick.
And now his production's getting camped, which he doesn't have an eco to begin with. Now he can't really get units out safely.
This town center's so close. Oh, come on! You gotta attack! No, he's attacking the villager! Oh man, that was a quick loss! Wow, F2 got smoked on what Mediterranean. Oh my goodness. They have not lost on Mediterranean in a very long time. And this game wasn't really very close. Wow.
Kind of the wasted resto and the poor team fighting on water.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do anything after that that would get them back into the game and give them a chance to win.
Yeah, they took a couple bad fights. GMC kept getting a little too far forward and didn't. It wasn't quite where he needed to be. And then, if you have that extra restoration, you need to just force a 3v3 fight on water, and then you get triple the value out of it. So it was a little weird to see that one-on-one restoration. Wow, look at the difference between Dome and Toss. This is the pocket difference here.
I missed the beginning. Was Icaro knocked off Fish at all, or was Demontis just going for a heavier boom style play?
Demontis got an earlier second town center, just by a little bit. Not by much,
Not much, though. Yeah. I wonder if it's a fishing tech. Sometimes if you get the is it Percy in the initial fishing?
Could be. Because Icaro didn't really get pushed off until after the water was kind of completely lost.
I wonder if it was Percy in first from Demontis, and that kind of just snowballed in terms of allowing him to get other techs.
But yeah, that's a huge difference. And then the other one we can compare then I Kill You Die and GMZ, which this is a lot closer, but then this is where GMZ gets pushed off of Fish, and you can see the difference there. I think the only player on F2 that was matched up against his opponent was Player. Yeah, Player was pretty even.
Was absolutely fine.
Yeah, he was fine, but that didn't matter. The 2v2 on the right was what finished this off. So wow, UCA takes first game against F2. Now do remember that this is best of 5, but this is also now double elimination. So the final 4 teams in this tournament are in this little double elimination bracket. So
I did not know this.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh wow. Yeah, it takes a little bit of hype off of these first 2 semifinal matches because they really aren't semifinals now. But yes, these are the last 4 teams are double elimination. So the winner that goes through to the finals without losing, I think, gets an extra home map to pick for the final best of 5. Which theoretically, if you have a good, if you're on like the old boys and you actually come with your home map with a good strategy, it should be a game that you should win. So it's kind of like giving a 1-game head start, but not quite for that final match. But yeah, so the team that loses here isn't done yet. Praetorian said this game is just 1v1 players. It's, I mean, kind of the opposite. I mean, you just have some of these players who are also good at 1v1, but like Player has been a top team game player for years. Matrius, I Kill You Die, and Domintas also. In fact, I Kill You Die and Domintas hardly even play 1v1s anymore. So this is a heavy 3v3 team skill game here, matchup. These are some of your best team players. I think maybe F2 without Squash definitely goes down a notch. Like
Montes has really been playing well, like in these team tournaments the past 2 years. Just one of the strongest macro players.
Yes.
He plays a lot of Greek and just really near perfect macro, and then combine that with all Greek's versatility with Underworld and Earthquakes, and you get a really solid bookend player.
Yep. Talonis, thanks for the follow. And we are going to go into game number 2, which will be UCA's home map on Anatolia. We see a couple player switches here. We've got Squash is back or here now for game 2 on Loki. Loki on Anatolia, so strong. We've got a Pocket Ra. I'm not so sure about the Ra here. And then we've got Hades from Player. What do you think about the Pocket Ra? Or just
Ra's
Ra,
on the
I guess.
sides, he's good. In the pocket, it leaves him vulnerable to doubles, which is kind of his weakness. He can create good defensive positions and shut off like TCs and map control, but if he's in the middle, he's kind of not as strong because he can kind of be doubled a lot easier.
I don't know. There's better gods to pick than Ra.
Ra also in general isn't as strong on this map because he's got more of a passive initial god powers. So like Isis can use AE to gain map control and get a TC advantage. Ra doesn't have that. Although the Locust Tornado combo on an opposing Loki could be game changing. So
it's not terrible.
Ra does still have some benefit here.
It's not terrible, but I could see some better choices. On the top, though, we've got Mechanics, who is a very good Norse/Loki player, and he is Loki. Domintas is Hades, again, of course, and then Matrius is Poseidon. So we saw I Kill You Die get switched out, and Mechanics come in. And we also say, is it GMZ got benched? Oh, both players. We got 2 benched. GMZ and Icaro both got benched for Squash and Gold Lion come in to save the day. Again, Squash, I would say top tier team game player. Considering his flexibility with so many different gods, I would say Squash #1 team game player currently. Maybe his best against other best could kind of be even, but when you consider Squash can play pretty much any god really well, give him the edge. But I mean, like Domintas here could probably hang with Squash and a Hades. But it's gonna be. We saw the match I did last time, the Loki matchup here on the edge. How it goes on land in the first 2 minutes can determine the way the game goes. The last time we had one of the Loki players built forward, and the other one built back, and then this one was forced to build a few boats to defend, and then he just got absolutely railroaded on land, and that was over just like that. But here we've got the right play. The Loki stays back. The Loki will go most likely, or should go pure Herseer on land, no water fight, and the enemy Herseer or Loki will also do the same thing.
The Loki fights just snowball so quickly.
Right.
Like no Greek player is going to kill the other Greek player in the first 10 minutes. That's just going to be a
Right.
drawn out fight. The Loki is on the other hand because of the myth units and the snowballing effects. Can just end much quicker than that. So, how does the Loki play this versus the other Loki? Because that's what we're going to be watching here to decide the game.
Yep. You just see, Squash is building way over here towards the middle, whereas Mechanics is staying more towards his side of the map. And this was an intentional choice by Squash, because this is not where you would normally you would build
That's
it
not
here.
Squash's third. That's Gold Lion's third that Squash is building on.
Right. So I wonder what the thought process is behind Squash building more this way. Because it's conscious.
Actually,
choice.
no. The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that if Mechanics counterattack Squash's base, now Squash's base is close to Gold Lion, so Gold Lion could potentially back him up with some Axemen. Whereas if Squash's base was over on his side of the map, then
I
it's
guess
a lot harder for Gold Lion to go and help.
Right. We also
one line of thought.
We did see that Squash picked up the relic that makes his houses have plus 200% hit points. This is a sneaky good relic in some situations. It's plus 900 hit points. that's a ton. That's a ton of hit points for a house. Ooh, that scout in his last dying breath put down the pestilence on these buildings here. And you can see that UCA is really valuing that early land and is going to try to out-produce.
What does Mechanics have going for him? How many land units?
5 right now. Buildings. Barracks, longhouse, and then temple. So times 3. He's housed. He was housed. He must have just built a house somewhere, because he was housed for a minute. Does he have the numbers here? Not quite. He's actually, again, it's a little bit of defender's advantage. Oh, see, he's trying to kill the house. It's not gonna work. You can't kill it.
He is getting favor at least, but obviously if you could kill that house and make Squash lose production for a second or two, that's better than nothing.
And now, I don't know if Mechanics wants to fight this, because he's behind now in numbers. Their little pestilence play here. The problem was that Mechanics was just so far away that by the time he showed up, the numbers had started to equalize anyway, which I guess it goes into if Squash would have built his forward base up here, maybe it would play a little different. Mechanics would have been there in time. Mechanics again is trying to kill this house. If he hasn't noticed the relic, he's probably like wondering, like, what's wrong with this game? Like, the houses just aren't even getting close to dying.
A couple early throwing axemen from Squash too, which is something you generally don't see.
Right. A little bit of look at our water fight at the top. We've got Matrius all the way down at the bottom, but defender's advantage. If I'm player here, I'm really not worried. This side, we've got the Rob facing off against the Hades, so not a huge deal. We have a restoration being on both players, using it on the Herseer fight. Oh, this is a big fight here. I may be wrong, but it looks like Squash has more units.
He's got, I think, the extra production from going the 3 racks.
Big Iron Jar spawn, a Troll spawn, a couple of Valks. This is close, but I don't know. It's hard to say, because I mean, one good myth unit spawn can just change the way this. Okay, it looks like Squash is gonna come out on top here now. Wow, yeah, that's. And this is the danger. You got Mechanics Hunt down here. And in the end, what started off as like a pretty close fight, I mean, it looks like it was just a complete avalanche now.
I mean, yeah, so Mechanics has the 2 racks out because of the pest. Squash went 3 racks, and Squash simply had more units
4.
because no, yeah, not just 3, but now 4. But yeah, Squash had the better production. Clearly, it.
Like, this is where you can almost say like this could just be GG right here, because once the Loki starts going, how do you stop him?
Yeah, with all the pressure he can put all over the place and
Mhm.
on the eco of Mechanics, there's kind of no solid way back in this.
Right. Water fight is just, you know, it's gonna stalemate for a while. Just, you know, really this part almost doesn't matter. This part, it doesn't really matter. It's all this here. We've got Squash grabbing that forward town center.
Squash does a really good job of this. He loves to take the opponent's forward TC.
Yeah. Well, it basically gives him defender's advantage then. And we see another fight here, but I don't think Mechanics even has the numbers to even remotely win this. Maybe he does, but I don't. Looks like he's a little low. Yeah, he's gonna have to fall back. Ooh, the pathing here.
What about upgrades to Squash? Who got their hack first, if anybody?
Nobody yet.
Oh.
Just,
That's so strong in this mirror. I'm surprised.
I also noticed that Squash delayed getting Hall of Thanes. He didn't get it until after this fight occurred, which...
Oh, wow. Good observation.
Which really, if you don't care about speed, like if it's just going to be one big fight here,
yeah, no,
you don't necessarily need it right away, which is maybe why he had more military buildings going into it, is he put that wood into a couple extra
I wonder if
buildings.
that's why partly why he didn't have it is because he put that wood that would have gone into that tech into military buildings, while Mechanics put it into that speed thing, and then Squash had twice the production, and Mechanics had speed in a slugfest that had no benefit.
It looks like they were attributing resources to the Norse player here. The Sparks wanted to see if our Norse players were getting resources given, and yeah, they did have a little bit. We could see Squash at the 7 minutes got resources tributed to him. Food, he got food tributed to him at the 7-minute mark. So that could have been the difference too, if he got the tribute first.
The more racked, the lack of Hall of Fame, the tributed resources, it's, yeah. A lot of factors went into outplaying UCA here by F2.
Because he's reached heroic age at 11 minutes with that pretty large Hersier army. And good call, Sparks, on that. So basically what happened here, we can pause it for a little bit, is we've got the Ra and the Greek we've got all this food. We're not really going to use it right away. It's of more value if we give it to the Loki player. And if he wins that first fight, then even though we gave him some food, it's well worth it. Even though Squash doesn't have quite the numbers here, he's aged up, so he's got slightly better Hersier. So this is pretty good for him. But he'll have to run now. And we've got bronze used on boats.
He's got Mechanics' whole army there, so
right.
Mechanics' base is undefended.
So, yeah, he can pressure in. And we do have some sentinels here, but they're not super scary. And we can run away. We've got the random Watchet. Maybe not long for this world. And we've got gold lines starting to move onto the water, or the land. And then we've got a player in a really strong position up here.
I think
losing water.
Overplayed water a bit too much, because the second you lose your TC control and position on land, then the water wasn't worth it.
Yeah. He's also not fighting with... There he goes. Get that skillet on there. Yeah, at this point, if you're a player, you might as well just forget about the water and just kind of focus on keeping Matrius at 2 town centers, and then you're fine. Oh, we got a big push here. The water on the bottom is like Okay, so we do have Domantas now starting to push in a little bit, but it just takes so long. And then with the dock
Those
spam,
4 docks just eat up so many of them.
he needs to just come down here and sit on Gold Lion's
And
water.
he's not knocking squash off water either.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
Would be priority number 1.
Yep, there we go. All right, so this is a pretty key spot here. We do have flaming weapons for both Lokis now. The Axeman with flaming weapons actually really helps them out. We've got combined flaming weapons.
Even have anything to flaming weapons on?
No, he just not much. Just a few hearse here. And a lot of them are just chasing this one hearse. He's got to get on probably on this battle boar. So the hearse here with flaming weapons absolutely melt myth units. But ooh, the frost giant though is a big spawn. This might be a little bit of an overreach here by Squash for the time being. We've got rain by Gold Lion. I don't know if he's trying to block. He's not really blocking anything. But yeah, Squash a little bit overreached here with his flaming weapons. And of course, the frost giant spawns here are really big.
Squash on 3 TCs to mechanics 1. Though,
yes. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a temporary victory for mechanics.
Population is huge on these low-key mirrors because you need population to spawn the myth units, otherwise you don't get the spawns. So
yeah, because yeah, we've got 3 TC to 1. Now we do have Matrius going up Hephaestus, trying to keep this town center down, but he's not going to. So Matrius is ahead of player as far as like economy and stuff, but that advantage kind of gets nullified by the fact that he'll have to push through a town center. We do have, it looks like Mechanics is going to hit Mythic Age before Squash will. So maybe Mechanics will end up holding. We do have though now we've got the this is strange. Oh, where is
player
this?
earthquake.
That sucks. Sucks if you're Mechanics.
3 TC at a 0 situation.
Yeah, so yeah, this will be big if he can. It looks like Mechanics might just grab this town center and kind of just give up on this one for the time being.
He's grabbing that TC, then Squash can probably take the other TC.
That stopped his Mythic Age too, because he was going up Mythic. Oh, it's nice. Nice. These villagers apparently want a piece of it. Alright, pretty healthy Locust here. Got plenty vault in by Matrius. We've got his units coming down here to help out down at the bottom. Yeah, this is nice pressure on the gold, because this was a lot of villagers mining gold down here that are no longer mining.
This is really good play by F2 player and Gold Lion, because Mechanics has been knocked off his base, so the only place he can go for gold is right in that middle section near him, and they're cutting off that area of the map.
Yeah. The Slinger army is a little bit weird to me. I don't.
Even if your opponent went Tox, it's still.
Yeah, they're just so slow.
Tox can still just kill them so quick.
But they're here, so why not? But it's a little strange. What's up, Nyan? Count on Count is just an extra observer. No spoilers, Nyan, if you know the result, which you probably do because you're UCA, right? Domantas up. This is a very slow age 3, though. We're talking 60 minutes on Anatolia. That's a slow age up time. But yeah, it's looking. The score line reads kind of close for UCA, but I don't know how they're going to get back any positions. We do have a nice little push here.
Heroic time is just so. Compared to last game in Domantas's boom to this game, and
yeah,
it's just
substantially different.
I can't even explain. Unless he was tributing resources to help Mech get back in it.
Boy, these Hades buildings with their extra hit points just live so long. Like, this is not the spot that Matrius wants to fight. We have an underworld being used? Okay. So, player's just going to be like, yeah, forget this fight here. I'm just going to hop in the underworld and say hello. Back. Would like to maybe He's killing. Oh, there it is. GG. Wow, 2 quick games. So each team loses their home map to start the series off. Well done. They're good planning. So we're knotted up 1-1 now. This turns into a best of 3 at this point. So Nyan, this is Boyd's 3v3 tournament that's now in the final 4. This is, however, now in a double elimination. The final 4 teams are in double elimination. So the loser here isn't out, but is in the bottom bracket. So a little bit of a tough road to get to the finals. But nice game by F2. And again, I mean, just that first Loki fight kind of dictates the course of the game. A little bit of pressure by the Slinger army. You don't see that too often, but hey, it happened. Take a look at the post game. See what we're looking at here. You can see Matrius with the huge economy. Some of it's a little bit from canceling an age up, it looks like, but quite a bit ahead of player, but that's not the side of the game that matters.
Problem is, if you get stuck down 4 TCs to 2, you can have all the eco in the world, but you can't make enough units to overcome your opponent's defenses when he's got twice the army you have.
Yeah. We had Matrius did tribute 3,000 resources to, must have been mechanics, I would assume. But yeah, the initial early resource tributes were...
Montes, I don't know what happened to him this game with that heroic timing.
Yeah, he was pretty slow. Pretty slow. I mean, he did fight more on the water, but maybe that's an indication that he overcommitted to water. Very slow to grab town centers too from UCA. They were quite far behind. But all right, let's move on to game 3. So game 3 is going to be a preset map. I'm not really sure what the preset maps were, so we'll find out with all of you. Hope it's weird ones. Ooh, what is this map? Oh, yes! This is awesome, except it's a little bit imbalanced.
I'd say, how did this get allowed in the tournament if it's an imbalanced map? Like, one team having safe backfish and the other not is clearly a broken map.
Yeah... It's a bit...
Should this have been in mid vetoed from whoever was streaming?
I would... It should be.
Or is this tournament secretly rigged?
This is a huge advantage to UCA having the water on the back. Although maybe you make a gentleman's agreement and you're like, hey, do you have back water? Nope. Okay, we won't take it. Or maybe you lie and say.
I think part of the problem is the players might not even realize it.
Right. Right.
Because depending on how odd of a spawn this is, or
yeah,
how
but
familiar they were with the map ahead of time, they might just be YOLO playing it and not even know.
Yeah, they just barely saw the shoreline here, but they didn't actually scout it. So, but I mean, it does give less value to the middle for UCA because 2 of their players can get water anyway, and now they've scouted the top. No ozone, no spoiler. Why would you even do spoiler? But let's look at the players again. We've got Domintas, so switching over to a Gaia. I Kill You Die is Zeus, and then Matrius is Hades. We have the Gaia feeding the water. The trees here clearly UCA really wants to win the water. That's why they went with the Gaia here to get a huge Greek early naval advantage. But let's see what we got in the bottom. We've got player Zeus. Swash is Thor. That's weird. And Hades.
Thor is extremely weird on this map because the Thor's biggest strength is the rag, and you can't really rag if your opponent's cut off from water unless you do the underworld play, but that underworld play could always be countered by like an earthquake or something, so there's no guarantee that the rag will actually function.
Yeah, I definitely like the Gaia here, and again, giving the trees to their teammates here. The extra gather rate that they get for the trees is just so big. All right, I'm glad you're kidding, Ozone. So this map, if you wanted, there are some kind of shenanigans you can do as far as like in the one game we did on River Nile, where you underworld over and like attack. That's something you could
The
do.
fast underworld was our strat for anybody
Right.
who didn't see the game. Like
Right.
an 8-minute fast heroic and an immediate underworld into a hop rush.
Turned more into like the 8-minute turned more into like an 11. We won't talk about that. The other thing you could do.
Army comp and backup that did us in.
Yeah, the other thing you could do here is like more of like a wonder strategy. You know, go with an Egyptian and do a wonder strat.
What civ was Gold Lion? I didn't notice. Yellow.
Hades. So it's.
So they did go double underworld like we did.
Yeah, double underworld, but a Thor. Yeah, I like the Gaia here. This is a nice Gaia map. Just the utility with the trees. Water fight Gaia is pretty solid. I like the Gaia more than the Thor here, so I
What's
don't.
on with Claire's fishing? Oh, is he trying to advance at a certain time?
I think so, yeah. Because yeah, he's not aged up yet. Now he just aged up.
There he is. All right, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a walk here for your players. It's not like Mediterranean where it's pretty close. It's a bit of a walk. So yeah, it looks to me that both teams will just be focused on just a straightforward water fight. So this is kind of be opening like a Mediterranean almost, where it's just going to be all in water. Now just the only kind of difference is that there's going to be no land pressure here.
I wonder if F2 gives up the water and has Squash try to go 3 TC land soon to get a max pop rag and then world it over quickly to catch the Gaia.
There's not enough resources on the map to afford that. There's not much hunt. You gotta win the water. Yeah, we got boats coming out. So it's gonna be all in on the water. I think the Gaia is too strong. We've got 3. Ooh, we do have a Pegasus coming over. I don't know if it's looking for just an early basic forest fire. I'm not sure. Or it's just to make the opponent scared. I like the Calatria is kind of following or trying to follow the Pegasus. Yes, this town center is in water range, and this town center is as well, as is this town center and this. So we do have 4 town centers in water range. So that's pretty important. See, water is huge on this map. You need the water. Now, in the end, the water on the corners hasn't been grabbed, so no big deal. And we'll just kind of have to see how the water fights take place here. We do have the... I mean, if the Thor can mass boats and get armory upgrades, he can fight water. Will he get to that point where he has that mass that makes the boats worthwhile? And now we're kind of worried here. Yeah, just a random forest fire here, just on some trees. Not really a ton of value other than a little bit of idle time. Did skill a manner.
The speed of the Gaia and Atlantean boats are coming in handy here, allowing for doubles.
Yeah, and that's the one bad thing about your Carnivora. I don't like that I guess it's okay. It does kind of cut off player from being able to help. The blue just needs to come in and just race. Yeah. He keeps getting distracted by this. Yeah, kind of your timing there was to lay. I mean, you put the Carnivora to slow down player and then come over here and do a double. But they didn't quite manage that correctly. And that's kind of giving the Thor time to mass up and maybe start getting some armory upgrades. Up on the top, got Goldline a little bit defensive against Matrius here. I mean, you'd expect Matrius to win this matchup, so we're going to have to see some carry from F2 on the bottom. The Gaia, yeah, just... You pick your Gaia here for mobility, but if you don't exploit the mobility, what's the point? And there we go.
You could go behind Squash, like don't go into the side and pick off one, just use your speed, go straight behind him, and then there's nothing he can do other than take a 2 versus 1 fight or run and lose a bunch of ships because you've got him surrounded, but...
I Kill You Die actually went with Ceasefire here. No resto. Taking a fight. It's close. I'd say that Oh man, this boat mass is. Oh, we just need to see Domitas just come up here and double squash.
He's got such good positioning. He's got player pinned in. There
Yeah.
you
Okay.
go.
There we
Go.
go.
There.
There we
Force
go.
it. Perfect. Squash. Bit of a miss micro going into the double.
There we go. Finally, yeah, we could see a restoration here. That's the kind of the downside of this. But Matrius still has his resto, so that they cancel out. A little bit slow, maybe
was
on
a little late. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably because he wasn't focusing on the battle.
Yeah, a little bit slow. The downside is that does mean that Gold Lion got kind of his resto for free because there wasn't a counter one, but that's all right. Again, we've got because player right here, the way the map is kind of set up and the way the fights have gone is players cut off from squash. So like we need to see some sort of teamwork here between I Kill You Die and Domitas where they take advantage of it, but they're just kind of pushing all in. Oh, nice Carnivora placement here though. The insta kill and then the tanking of 550 damage. It's so big. So actually, I mean, we got just Domitas just pushing right into player, just trying to push right through him.
I don't know if I like the brute force, especially into like the multiple docks, because
Yeah, see, here is where, since he's got him pushed in so far, this is where I would maybe consider retreating and coming all the way in over here and just finishing off squash at this point. But I think it looks like Domitas is just so far ahead, I don't know if player is going to be able to hold this anyway. It looks like he's going, yeah.
So
like
where did F2 go wrong here? Was it just the Gaia, strength of the Gaia and the Gaia trees?
Yes, I would say so. I would say so. Because even with the Gaia trees, not only that, but the Gaia out spams on boats early.
Okay, so the early boat control and forcing player into the creek while Domitas controlled the access to the main pool.
Right, because yeah, player got pushed all the way into this, which then gave UCA priority over here. So UCA is able to call their shots, essentially. But yeah, the guy also kind of in the back end, which you don't see, just allows for more boats from I Kill You Die and Matrius. So we can see Matrius
two
won his
people in the
fight.
middle can choose either side to double at any time, and then the other F2 were separated and can't just magically morph together. So definitely a huge positional advantage that UCA had to work with.
Yeah, and no armory upgrades from the Thor. I'm really questioning the Thor pick here. It's not a lot of value in it.
Unfortunately, it kind of just reminds us how strong and broken Greek is in these water team game situations with the ship range and the resto.
Yep, and then you throw Gaia trees on top of that next to the Norse or the Greek town center, and it just makes them even so much stronger.
Another thing, Squash has been making ships when his teammates stopped. Gold Lion's completely off water, and Squash is still producing ships.
Well, no. Yeah. Squash is all in.
Squash's water army compared to his teammates. You never want that situation where one player has got 20 ships and his teammates have 0.
Yeah.
That means he made at least 10 of those.
Yeah, because Squash is essentially just fighting a 3v1 and just throwing all of his boats away. Whereas Gold Lion is grabbing a second town
had
center.
a new boat come out too. He still was making production even when he was surrounded by 3 of them.
He's probably wondering what's wrong with his teammates. Like, where'd you guys go? But yeah, here you don't expect Gold Lion to win a 1v1 against Matrius. I mean, Gold Lion, a respectable player and good.
You know what the comm situation, like the voice chat situation for some of these teams does? Because I believe Gold Lion's Brazilian, right? And
he would speak.
Marsh is American, I believe.
Yeah, player also speaks Portuguese, so him and Gold Lion would be the same page. I will say when I played
issue on a situation like that, and it ends up costing him, because Squash was clearly still making ships when his teammates had long bailed on water.
Yeah,
it's just going to put F2 further behind.
I mean, this was a few years ago, but when I was with F2 for RTS League, there was no voice chat. It was just the bare minimum chat. I mean, it worked. So if it works, another
Maybe
carnivora.
I like that approach then, in which case it costs him a bit here.
Use the bolt on the carnivora. Might as well just use it on
There's
like one.
really
of the
no.
others.
The Minotaur could have just killed it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Or the
F2's
hero, worst case, it delays you 10 seconds. I'm not sure the 10 seconds delay is worth the bolt.
Oh, Bot Hunter says hello to me and you. So, hello, Bot Hunter. F2 is, I guess.
It's kind of ironic that he lost that big water fight in part because of the carnivore, and now here he is bolting a meaningless carnivore
Right.
after he's already lost water,
Right.
taken much.
Do you see any way back for F2 here? Is there any way back?
Not without counters to shut down the opposing underworlds. Like, you almost have to jump mythic to go earthquakes to shut down the opponent's underworlds, but at the same time you're going to be so far behind on eco at this point. Oh, I
Yeah.
missed it. When did UCA start using their back pools?
Towards the end of the main fight. Yeah, it's gonna be funny if like F2 were to say, we lost because they got water. In the end, it really didn't matter. They lost.
Still,
to
that's
see.
a lot of extra
It
close
is.
shore fish
It is.
that I'm sure F2 would be dying to have at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if F2 losing water had this to fall back on. I mean, I think the best case scenario, you just assume that these don't exist. Or you could. I mean, it would add an interesting wrinkle to the map if this was in every corner. Because then it would devalue
What is the
middle.
default spawn? Is there no fish in the corners, or is there 4 fish?
The problem is with the old, you can see it tried to spawn. There's just a little.
Oh,
There's one fish here. This is an old ESO Ensemble Studio map that never got any of the kind of upkeep from like the Rebels Rising updates. So I'm not really sure what the intention was on this. And even beyond that, this was like an extra map that was just kind of thrown in as I think like a bonus DLC. So who knows? I mean, who knows if they even intended for this to happen, but what did they care? It was just a bonus map anyway. So I'm not really sure.
Is there one fish in player's corner too?
No, this one has just the you can see this is the shoreline texture here, but the water didn't spawn. So it's like it's trying to spawn water down here, but didn't successfully do it. But here's our underworld, and we've got Domitas coming through, as well as some hoplites for my kill you die, and they're just gonna jump in on this town center. And yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of response here other than the throwing axeman just kind of wandering in to die. Player does have a few buildings here, but Matrius
Player just
already...
hit heroic, and Matrius hit mythic like a minute prior to player hitting heroic.
Yeah, it's tough. Once you lose the water, if you go all in on it, there's no way back.
Squash is probably all eco tech and not any sort of military tech at the moment.
Yeah, let's take a look. Not much eco tech either. Oh, he's actually got the first line of armory upgrades. Yeah, if his only hope would be if he was like...
Oh, he's going rag, isn't he? He's going for the quick rag, but...
I don't know.
Quick rag does nothing when your opponent's on like 30 fish spots apiece.
Yeah, and here's Matrius's underworld, so they're trying to stop the rag. No, I don't think there's extra gold mines for F2 because of the lack of water. Now, fortunately for...
There's nothing F2 can do here.
Yeah, fortunately for Squash, he's not aging up in this, but... Unless the only chance back here some way,
The
somehow.
eco graph, the Matrius's eco versus Gold Lions, it's just
I bet it's gonna
not
be
even.
huge. Alright, here's the Ragnarok. The only hope here is that the Ragnarok can plow through both underworlds.
And then you stabilize into a cutoff Wonder Race.
Right. Right.
Or it actually would be in F2's favor potentially, because they would still have their underworlds to work with.
So that's the only hope. If somehow this Ragnarok, which there's not a whole lot of it, Squash is using
Squash
flaming
has
weapons.
to focus the underworlds, which he's doing.
Oh, the ceasefire.
I'd say Squash was playing it perfectly. They're going right for the underworlds. Nothing else matters. No buildings, no villas, no army. The #1 priority for Squash was killing the underworlds, and he did that correctly. It's just the ceasefire.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it would have been better for him to hold off onto the flaming weapons until he killed. He might have forced
I think they would have
ceasefire.
Yeah, they would have seized no matter what to save the what do you call it? The underworld, so that he could have used flaming weapons after seize.
Yeah.
This is all hindsight, not playing in the stressful game.
Right, right. Implode, just run out of here. Run, 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 run. Okay, don't run. 'Cause if you run right away, there's a chance of not getting sucked in. But alright, you gotta get in on this. Yeah, that's gonna stop the town center from aging up.
Yo.
And ceasefire's almost done, but now we've got fully upgraded units here as far as line and armory upgrades. Really good.
Gold Lions pure tox, which is gonna help take down the underworlds.
So yeah, it's gonna, now with the reg falling, it's gonna be just a 2v3 here on the water, or the land, the water. And he's grabbing this town center, so he's kind of weird
I don't
timing.
like that. It's, yeah, you've got to be killing the underworlds here. Like, he played
Yeah.
it well before the siege, but that TC does nothing if the underworlds stay up. You've got to put everything into killing the underworlds at this point.
They're trying to, there's so many pacifists here now. Alright, he
Yeah,
does
he's
have
going
now
for it.
the Rhaegar on the underworld. So we got that going for him. Palace is down. This underworld's going to go down. And there's not any hero production here for I Kill You Die. So the Fire Giant, at least, I guess it's just one, will last forever. And now we've got the other... You know, 69%.
Gonna kill the underworld.
Yeah, I mean, we got 69% Pierce Armor on the underworld here. Like, you go all in on it, you might be able to take it down. We've got another Colossus coming in. But the problem is now at this point there's just so many military production buildings that the underworld, I mean, yeah, you killed the underworld, but
UCA is so far ahead on techs because they hit their mythic timings a good few minutes sooner.
got a bit of a water battle going on here.
That's a lot of pop players
It
put on
is.
water though while he's
It
in
is.
space. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that. If you've still got an underworld into your teammate's base, like the population should be going towards killing the underworld.
Oh, we've even got a little bit of a build up here from Matrius too. That's rough. So like, yeah, at this point now, killing the underworld doesn't get you a ton of value because there's just so much land presence from your opponent. So the underworld is gonna, unless we get like a panic repair, the underworld's gonna go down. But like Squash just doesn't have anything, so somehow, some way, we're gonna have to have a 2v3 held. And now we've got this build here. The Greek boats are gonna win against the Atlantean ones now at this point. We do have some fire giants, and like I said earlier, there's not a lot of opportunity for any heroes to come out. So fire giant spam will work to defend this position. We need to see I Kill You Die build a heroes. Yeah, his heroes are coming out of this fortress here. making Bellerophon first.
What's the TC and water range situation?
There's 2 from each team are in water range. And player has this one down.
Player has a TC and water range?
Yes. Yep. Each corner player has a town center and water range. So far, this is just like a gentleman's agreement up here. But this is scary, this build by Matrius here. It depends, though. If they wipe this build, then they can clear this. Because this is the only position now for UCA on the homeland.
This game is playing out closer than I thought, which is honestly kind of making me a bit more annoyed at the fish screw. Imagine if Player and Gold Lion or Squash each had an extra 10 fishing spots that they could have worked off of.
Okay, Bolt fused on one Fire Giant, Bellerophon kills the other, and we'll probably kill the third, so we got a lot of value out of this Bellerophon push here. Oh, okay, so they both kind of kill each other off. But now, because Player is kind of now all in a little bit more on defending the land here, he's now lost his advantage on water, which is okay. Player used Underworld. Where did he go? Where? Oh, okay. Here we are. So, all right. He can do some damage here. He'll keep.
The Underworld's in range of the water though, so he's got a dock to defend it.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? The scary thing here though is also since he Underworlds to here and can kill. Sure, he can kill this town center. However, Domitas can also kill this one, which really doesn't give this an advantage here. This is just going to be.
If he can still kill that one,
he needs to get this one.
The problem is that Matrius is now coming to help, and
but what that does do
is out of the game.
What that does do though is it's going to prevent Matrius from pushing from this position because he's going to have to defend up here.
Gold Lion also took down Matrius' TC on the water.
So this is, you know what? I'm all right with this because this is giving them more time to stabilize on their side of the map. I'm okay with this. It's just how is Player going to get his town center back? That's kind of the downfall a little bit of this is Player's probably not going to be able to get his town center back anytime soon. And yeah, he's got
the amount of pop that Player has to waste into that fish pool is just disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, would have liked to see maybe just you got to just have a little bit better Underworld placement at that point, and not put it
kind of being the map coming back to bite him.
Yeah, you could put it up here, but this will slow down. I mean, we still got all of this, and this town center is down though. So, did it give them enough time that they needed? There's only 2 more villagers here from I Kill You Die, but yeah, we've got now another hefty fight up here. This map, I think it's, what is it, Black Sea? Yeah, Black Sea is the name of the game. You kind of, though, need Gold Lion or somebody. There needs to be at least a few siege units donated to start clearing this off for good. But yeah, this Underworld has bought us to a lot of time. But still, Squash is nowhere where he needs to be. He's got a little bit of a trade route. Oh, we've got some Gastrophetes actually do well against boats. So how did this... Oh, we've got... Gold Lion is building on this side of the map a little bit. Or on the other side of the water. Oh, he's sending some ships down. This is good because Domitas deleted all of his fire ships. So actually these Juggernauts will probably get the town center down. While this one is also still down. So F2 is
They're playing
fighting.
it well, but they're just so far behind because of the
Yeah.
squash situation in the early game. And
Yeah, but they're fighting and clawing. But this Matrius build though is, I mean, the saving grace for F2 is that Matrius is down to town center. So this push here isn't going to be as good as it could be. But yeah, here comes the boats in on the town center. Oh, if they clear out these palaces too, that's huge. If he notices, I mean, that would take a good amount of teamwork. But if he comes down here and clears out the palaces, that would be huge. 'Cause, I mean, that's a lot of resources again, and a lot of time put into it. These fire ships can't come out until Domitas starts deleting some units. Yeah, here he goes. All right, nice. Yeah, nice. So well played, but we still got I kill you die down here being really annoying. Gold Lion still trying to come up here. Right now, Gold Lion needs to just forget about the water for the time being and just all in. We need to wipe something off down here. Oh, we've got Colossus coming in though. All right. These last two villagers trying to get to town center. These are being dealt with. Okay. You get on that last palace. That's all you need to do to defend this. Just get that last palace, and everything else will be all right. Somebody needs to grab this town center from F2 though.
yeah, player could use the pop for sure.
Oh, they can't let this town center get built.
You just can't win high-level team games like this 3 versus 2. Like, there's no matter how good Go Lion and player play.
Yeah, because his squash is still... Wow, this is some overproduction on boats here now, though. Look at all these fire ships. Wow.
This has done that twice this game.
Wow, that is a ton of fire ships. Yeah, but F2 held on for dear life, but
What are Squash's armory ups? You just had a bunch of throwing axemen. They might be dead.
Oh,
by now.
squash. Oh.
The fact that you need to look this hard to find his army.
He's got second line and then the third Pierce, so decent, but not a whole lot else. I like these trees that he stole from somewhere. Do these have Beast Slayer? Yeah, they do. So the Myrmidon actually do decent against the Fire Giants here. It's okay, so there's no more palaces down here, or fortresses, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, now we've got a lot of boats that are now kind of useless population. This needs to be... We need to clear some of this out down here. Oh, the trade route going through this. That's not going to be good. Oh, man. 'Cause, yeah, he can't trade. This build here just ruins the trade route. Oh, see, players trying to use these Helipolis to get his town center, but all it takes is just a few siege ships. Alright, finally we've got some Gastrophedes that's starting to clear this off. But now, with having to with Gold Lion being forced to defend down here, now he'll lose his town center. Yeah, Gold Lion does have an underworld. But where's the damage? Where are you going to get your damage from the underworld? You've got...
You need to stabilize first, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're not in a position to defend or take advantage of the underworld until they, like, kind of fully secure their own side.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's not a whole lot up here, but the problem is this is Hades, so it's going to take a long time to kill any of these buildings. So this build is taken care of. We've got Matrius's build here. But it'll take a little bit of time now. Oh, okay, we've got the triple. Okay, UCA is triple building now. Oh, they got I kill you die here. We've already got Matrius there, and we've got Domitas now building as well. And Matrius is taking down this town center, and we've got player. I mean, at this point, you just like, all right, take the town center, because the amount of population that's being put into this. This is 27 plus 24. I mean, we've got.
And though is you take it down and then you delete the ships and
Right.
shift over the land, and then you've got a 20 pop advantage on land now all of a sudden.
Right. And yeah, that's what he's doing.
It's a balancing act, and yeah, look at that immediately.
Because at this point, for UCA, their resources are infinite, so deleting units really doesn't matter.
And just looking at a 1v1 situation, now if player ever tries to get back on water, you've got a 20 advantage, pop advantage to defend water, so you're always going to be 20 pop up, theoretically, if you play it perfectly.
I think
That's
F2
why I've kind of always hated TCs in water range in this game, because there's really no counter once the first person gets a TC down. It should technically be GG, because then they're always going to have the pop advantage.
You know, F2, Gold Lion could get like a Titan here, and how would UCA fight back against that? You know, if we would have gotten a Titan at some point.
A Titan's 20 pop though, and I don't know
Yeah.
if it's gonna, like, without the advantage of the Titan is to take down your opponent's TCs and
Yeah, I
kill their
guess.
eco or get you
Yeah.
a pop advantage. A Titan just cleaning up random buildings is probably not that pop efficient for 20 pop. It's the eco and TC advantage of the Titan, so I don't think a Titan on your side on this type of map is even that helpful.
Yeah. Do we have slight attempt at a side-ish build, but the pacifist sniff it out, so that's not going to work. And it looks like now, finally, a gallant hold, or gallant defense by F2, despite being way behind.
Watch, I
but-
still just don't think has any sort of eco. Like, I'm sure he got resources tributed for the techs that
Yeah.
he has.
Yeah, because he has no farms. He just is gathering wood with a little bit of a trade route. So now finally, with the three of them from UCA building up over here, now they'll be able to take their advantage. And now it looks like things are just about over. But yeah, a nice fight here. A nice fight back for F2. Did a good job, but just a little too far behind going into this.
So it's gonna obsess over the fish. Like, it's clear F2 is playing the later game better, so if they had that little extra eco boost, like, could they have stabilized and
Yeah, maybe.
evened it out and then outplayed them?
Yeah, it's too bad. You'd like to see the map spawn.
I'd
You know,
love
like-
to see what the eco situation is on the graph. Just how ugly it is, and oh gosh.
So at the 25-minute mark,
The fact that the game lasted as long as it did, given
Yeah.
that delta, is just yikes.
yeah, that's a testament to F2. Played well at the end, but yeah, just losing the water that quickly early on, and just weren't able to ever quite come back from that. If they're able to clean
Curious with the
all of this up,
improvement timings, the difference in the Greek age ups.
oh sure, improvements. Domitas and Matrius were both about 2 to 3 minutes faster than their Greek counterparts. It was, what kind of a reg are we talking? Not a huge reg, just a 74-ish Vil reg.
I guess going back to the Thor just didn't really fit and provide any benefit here. It kinda
No.
just-
It was a bit of an awkward pick, the Thor. But, alright. 2-1. We got UCA looking good. So nice map. I like that. I like the map. Just wish you'd see a completely fair spawn. In the end, at the beginning of the phase of the game, it didn't like it really made a big difference because UCA won the water so cleanly. But yeah, you think maybe if this is on F2 side, maybe it's just that little bit they needed to hold. I don't know. But it is what it is. Alrighty, we're going to game number 5 on, okay, so this rolled to be Anatolia.
This is 4, I thought.
4. Yeah, right. I can't do math. 4. So we are at a match point here now, finally. We've got a UCA with win one more game, and they advance to the kind of finals, except it's double elimination. Kind of not. So yeah, F2 loses this, they're not out. Remember, it's double elimination. All right, but let's take a look at our god choices here. So it's Alfheim, so we're back to a standard map. This was a preset map, so not random. Both teams knew what this map was going into the week. So knew, okay, Alfheim's coming. What do we do in Alfheim? Well, what does F2 do? They have Loki.
Playing it like roughly a million times probably helped them prepare as well.
Yeah, so we've got squashed on Loki. Gold line is Uranus. Players Hades, not Zeus, Hades. On the right, I Kill You Die Ra. Matrius Poseidon. Domintas Hades. So certainly we see a difference in styles for this pick here, this map.
Offense versus defense is going to be the story of this game.
So on a lower level of gameplay, it would be a pretty heavy advantage to the defense here.
This generally is a defensive map, like Egyptians, Hades, like civs that can defend generally do pretty good on this map because the cliffs kind of create a lot of choke points and wall off situations. Yeah.
I'm looking for the hunt situation here. It's not very good.
It's also generally not high hunt, which Norris, who's one of the main aggressive civs, tends to like. So another reason why it's more of a defensive map.
Yeah. What you want here is you want /need as the Loki, the Auroch spawn. But instead it looks like it's just the deer, caribou, and it's even the small. I mean, we're three caribou, and I think it's 3 deer because I saw a 3 deer somewhere, and that's a lot different than a 3 Auroch. So that hurts the Loki, for sure. But yeah, so like on a lower level of team play, like maybe even just considering you're just run-of-the-mill, everybody just kind of pile in and it's just randoms teaming together, the defense generally wins because there isn't enough coordination amongst the offensive players to do the damage they need to do. F2 here, though, with the Uranus and the Loki, with good teamwork, can punish the more defensive style gameplay we're going to see from UCA. Just it comes down to, will they be able to punish enough?
The Raw's weakness in team games is that they're out of the game for the first 8 minutes, and you can double somebody else in the game, and the Raw's not going to have a solid means of helping them out, and Uranus and Loki are both really good at applying that pressure.
Ooh, this cliff comes all the way out from the corner. Cuts a little bit of the edge off for a player for a trade route. But makes it easy to wall. The wall from here to here, and this entire top ass is cut off. Yeah, from the Raw, I would assume it's just going to be a standard 2-town center fast heroic.
You also point out, though, player who normally goes Zeus went Hades in this situation, so that takes away the hop, rush, resto play, which would be extremely strong here.
Well, Matrius got the relic for the 3 relic monkeys. I like it. Speaking of relics, Alfheim spawns extra relics. Let's see what we got here. Pygmalion statue plus 40% villager hit points. That's big. Domantas got the blue crystal shard, which is a little bit faster resource gather rate. We have the sentinels now, and the initial first little pressure from the Loki, pushing Domantas into his base. However, Alfheim also is one of the rare maps in the map pool that gives you 2 extra base food sources, which is the chicken and the berry, along with the starting hunt. So normally you would just get a hunt and either berry or chicken, but here you get an extra one. So I guess it's not 2 extra, it's 1 extra. But this helps for like
Is 5 minutes slow for the Greek 2TC build?
a little bit. But we've got aggressive oracles here. But we've got the heroes to defend. Ooh, this is where a coordinated effort. Oh, we got the relic monkeys coming in to save the day. Oh, we got the hearse here. Come on back. Where are you going? Where are you going? Now we might see a. Okay, shockwave. Nice. This is a key fight here. Okay, we got Chiron though. I think. And we've got Hippolyta. Okay, so they'll be able to hold this, but a lot of resources put into holding this. We got another villager down. Yep. Minotaur down, maybe, if we get some smarter targeting. Close. Maybe not. Oh.
Only 4 villas building now because 2 went down.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to get some more wax in on this town center though, pretty quickly here.
At this point though, you're against double hero, and your heroes are so slow, you kind of almost gotta get out of here.
Run out your hearse here. You don't want to lose him. He's lost like, see, this is a point where now they overstretched a little bit too much. They're lost 3 extra hearse here. So just a little bit of an overstretch, where you don't want to lose those extra hearse here. That hurts a little bit. And we've got our rain.
You went over the food situation, how there's just so limited food on this map to begin with, to lose that much food early on from a Loki perspective for no reason. It just...
Yeah, this is a tough...
Because after the 2 Vil picks, they didn't even get any actual damage in other than some hero HP.
Nope. So yeah, they lost out here. Oh, is this villager low? Could pick this one off. Nice surround on that hero. Little Valkyrie spawn. Wow, we gotta get in on this. This villager's almost dead. Oh, come on, you know it's almost dead. You can see him. Why attack the wall when it's just wide open here? I mean, not anymore. So this is, this is tough. Flare is at 2 town centers, so they're trying to match the Hades boom with the Ra boom. And hoping that the aggression can overcome the bottom half. We'll have an 8:47-minute age up. Okay, nice little surround here. The Ajax is almost dead already. We have restos. Yeah, we do have a resto from Domantas. And a ceasefire from Matrius. And 3 little cute
The fact that they saved that ceasefire is absolutely huge, because the Loki snowballs so much off that flaming weapons heroic timing. So that seize being saved still shuts down the Loki.
Yeah, but we got a lot of units here and no defending army. It would be nice to maybe just run these in over here.
The problem with this for Gold Lion though is he's kind of like me. When you put all your units together into one control group, you can only do so much damage because your opponent can see where it's coming from and just run away.
You pick off 2 villagers here, but you're sitting under a lot of arrow and tower and building fire that I don't...
And you're still 2 TC to 1, so even though you picked off those 2 vills, give it a minute or less than a minute and your opponent's gonna be ahead on vills again.
Alright, here is the Ra with the Migdol. Player just kind of happily booming with 2 town centers. I mean, he's got a lot of cows still sitting here. eco upgrades. No pickaxe yet. He did get Harmonious Necklace, though. That's good. That's basically pickaxe for free. Harmonious Necklace, a relic that makes gold gather faster. But yeah, poor Squash. Alfheim, not a great hunt map normally, but this rolled to be about the lowest hunt possibilities. And now they're coming up here a little bit slow. So your transition here, your other timing that you can hit that does a lot of damage is getting in on the Ra if he tries to build a forward Migdal, which he's doing. So I guess their timing isn't bad. I wonder if it's a little too late, because we do have a Shifting Sands if we need it. But really, you probably just...
The Aranos is so strong against Egyptian early on, when the Egyptian only has a few units out, because the Aranos is full pop while the Egyptian's trickling units out one by one, and the Terma just insta-kill Chariot Archers.
Yeah, the instant the Chariot Archers stop, the Terma just absolutely pick them off. Alright, so they were here in time. They hit this timing to get on the Migdal. A little bit greedy for my kill you die. You'd maybe just want to see him build this first Migdal in his base just to avoid that potential.
Considering how much army his teammates had out on the map at the time, and his opponents, there kind of really was no. And the fact that he had back gold, so it's not like he needed it.
Right. Just a little greedy, where you want to get that Migdal forward so you can start getting a little bit of map control. But if you lose it, and the Rock and the Petsuchos both got picked off there too. We do have Damantas moving forward to see what he can pressure. He's not going to get a whole lot here.
It's looking good for F2 because they've got full map control. The early pressure of the Loki and Aranos is giving them full map control at this point.
Yeah, little shockwave there just to get a couple more chariots. Yeah, I don't know. They're the downfall.
Lost a lot to just kind of between the big goal and the amount of units he's lost already. It's his ability to pressure and gain map control versus players boom is going to be difficult.
Yeah, the question is, will Squash be able to keep up with Damantas? Because, I mean, you have to assume there's going to be an earthquake that's going to come in and flatten this at some point. So he's got to keep up with that. Getting in on some villagers in the farmland here. But the extra power from the Hades town center. Oh, pick off the trade. That's big.
12-minute heroic though isn't. What's the normal timing for a Loki?
Probably a minute.
10 or 11ish.
Yeah.
Especially against Greek, because
Nice to get that
you
one
need to
too.
get heroic versus Greek as the Loki to get the battle boars out. That's where your kind of advantage of power spike is.
Here comes little chariot raids. This is where fighting the Ra gets a little scary. How did they get in? They must have came all the way down here. All right. Ooh, we need to get these Terma out of here. They're a little forward.
I wish there was a forward temple. Like, if you're going heroic, like, I wish I hate when Lokis don't build a forward temple to get the boars out sooner and forward.
Chariots are sniffing out the villagers up here. We do have a Manticore coming. Oh no. Yep, there he is. And he's gonna lose the villagers.
Just 5 vills though.
Yeah, it's not terrible. And okay, yeah, this is what you want to see from the Ra here is you start splitting off and raiding and hitting different parts. Because I mean, we've got some wide open spaces for these chariots.
Did
and
Squash
stuff.
wall at all?
No. I would have
put one little wall at the bottom there, but
should have
nothing
walled
in the middle.
Yeah, this should be walled at this point. It really should be.
Look at Player's got his walls down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Squash should have walled this by now. So a bit of a mistake from him. Oh, nice surrounding on these chariots though. If these Hippocon move down a little bit, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh man.
It's like 1,500 resources.
Yeah, just wandering through. But this is going to be scary. We still have a Locust. This could be.
Doesn't Squash have the Vill HP relic though?
Oh, he does. Oh, that was a terrible Locust.
And the Locust is whiffed horribly.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That was not nearly as bad as it could have been. A little bit of idle time. These villagers, I don't know where they're going to gather gold, though. They got to come back. We don't have any army coming down to help, though.
Forcing some idle time on the low-key, at least.
Yeah. Oh, nice little picks here. But
this is where the map control of the aggression.
Yeah.
Like, none of UCA are able to get their third TCs up.
Yeah. But Domantas or Matrius, one of the two, should be aging up with Artemis. Because you cast that on.
Or both.
The players. Yeah, or both. I mean, you go double. Yeah, double Artemis coming in. So a minute and a half from now, we're going to see an earthquake here. And gotta imagine the other one's coming in here. You gotta think that's going to happen.
You've also got the tornado from the Rostel. He's got it in his pocket already.
Oh, he is up already? No, he's not. Telling me stories.
Pretty sure he's advancing.
Might be
Should
advancing.
be up any second.
Oh, yep, there you go. Yep. 100%.
Alright, I was off by 5 seconds, I bet.
Why don't we even have you come along?
This is the problem for iKill though, like normally he'd get this TC up easily, but he's been raiding all over the map instead, so.
Yeah, and the chariots are... This is the part where the chariots against the Hippocon just don't quite
Well,
cut
they
it.
are Hades hips, which is at least one positive for iKill.
Yeah. Alright, Pharaoh goes down. Catapelte.
So iKill's in a bad spot, but he's
Squash is
raiding Squash, which is going to put
Tornado.
Squash in a bad spot.
Alright, yeah, so you're going to see Tornado here, Earthquake down here. We have a Restoration. Oh! No, where was the Resto? Oh, up here. I'm going to say, if you Resto this town center, it wouldn't go down. It'd almost be worth it to do that, I think. Alright, here comes Artemis. It's got to come in here, right? Yep, here it is. Come on. Yeah, this is where Squash just starts getting absolutely
the cart
punished.
going down from Earthquake is just so brutal for the Loki because all those villas are idle.
Yeah, this is the closest ox cart. So what you got to do is you got to have some big help from Gold Lion here. I mean, Squash is still kind of keeping his opponent back here, but it's not going to be for long. And Gold Lion isn't pressuring anywhere, really. I mean, we've got Terma here against Heavy Hippocon. That's not going to help out. They need player to somehow win his side fast. Does he have an underworld? He does. We almost need to see an underworld to save Squash, and by underworld we need to have... Oh, Domantas is using an underworld. If I'm Squash here, I underworld. You got underworld to the back. Vortex kills this underworld. Player underworlds to the back at this point. Yeah, here's the Vortex. The army all left. Just get the Hika Gigantes on the underworld. There you go. Keep the hero away. Alright, hero's away, and this Chiron is just shooting at the Murmillo. Alright, we do have a restoration. That'll keep the underworld alive. Got 3 birds. Oh, you gotta get the Hika Gigantes down. Oh wow! So yeah, 1 vortex counters the earthquake, the underworld. That's big.
Squash has had his whole eco in shambles though. Like he's not on all. He loses all his access to all his farms.
Oh man, another raid here. And some of this is all just due to no walls. You just wall this off a few layers. Put down some chemo walls. Got the Chimera in here. No, he's gonna die. We've got the Nidhogg who's taking some damage. The saving grace is going to be if player somehow manages to do something. I don't know if pushing here is right. Player should...
I think, like you said, now's the time for player to underworld.
Player, just stabilize
this. Each counter.
Come down here. You don't push the Ra. This is This is the strongest point of defense here, really, for your opponent, because you've got the mercenaries. This is where you just ignore them. You ignore the Ra at this point. You're up a town center on the Ra, 2 town centers. You just build buildings to defend this while you underworld down here, and that's the only chance you get at this point in this game, because there's no way you push through this faster than UCA pushes down here. So it's not going to happen. I think these players got the tunnel vision right now. Maybe if he falls back.
The siege for the
yeah,
Underworld.
I mean he could just destroy this so fast. But I think he's stuck.
They've got their counter earthquake for the Underworld. I bet that's it.
Oh, they do, don't they? Oh, that stinks. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so
they probably know players use that Underworld trick a few too many times to not be prepared for.
Yeah, I still think you use it to at least get the Underworld or the earthquake down. Would love to see the siege upgrade here. You've got this many siege units. Upgrading the siege with siege engineers is so big. And we can see right now 3 of these siege towers might as well not exist because they're not close enough to shoot. So would have liked to see them get upgraded.
The tech increases the range if anybody is out there.
Does it do Helipolis though? It might not improve Helipolis range.
Pretty sure it does.
Nope. Plus 25% damage though. So it's good. But yeah, this is just a throw in here. You're not gonna the amount of resources you're gonna put into this fight just isn't going to be where here it comes. Now, you might get the town center down, but it just takes so long. I mean, Squash is dead. He's gone. And late game your Atlantean isn't really gonna hold either. And oh, he didn't even get it down. Oh man. Yeah, that second earthquake in the pocket kind of shuts down that Underworld, doesn't it?
Yep, and just the double tornado earthquake on one player. I mean, Squash went second TC early and still called it. Now this bot I kill time because this player fell back to execute that for no value.
And see, I'd say it's against normal convention here for both Greek players to go Earthquake.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Normally one would go Hephaestus. One would go Hephaestus here, at least you would think.
They wanted to target Squash. I mean, the tornado too. I mean, the tornado, earthquake, and then they were countering Squash and then countering the Underworld play. It was very well planned out from UCA.
Well, GG next is actually GG. The series is over with F2 losing here, and I don't know if it's really unexpected because UCA is a good team. But some of these losses for F2 haven't been a little bit rough, especially that first meta game was not good. But yeah, this game's over. I do have a question: is why don't they help Squash get back up as soon as possible? The issue here.
Old Lion had a bit of a rough game and was behind on tech all game.
Right, but your issue here in this game is that your Atlantean against Greek late isn't going to hold up. The play here maybe would have been for player to Underworld down here because he wouldn't have been able to use it aggressively. But then that probably just results in the Earthquake being used anyway. Like in this game, I don't know if there really was a way for them to help Squash because Gold Lion was kind of behind, and there's really no way for player to...
I think the play here from F2 would have been Squash to go quick, fast, heroic in order to get his boars out as soon as possible. And then boar plus the giant early Aranos army onto Demontis's back TC and force the Greek players to fight you when you've got the army advantage.
Maybe. He also never... I mean, we got Ceasefire. Like, there's just some pocket god powers that UCA has to kind of save the day. I mean, we've got a Ceasefire, we've got a Shifting Sands.
UCA definitely outstratted them, but F2 just did not use any of their advantages aside from the early denying of the third TCs, but that alone wasn't enough. They needed to do more than that to win.
Well, yeah, there's just that early weakness with the Loki kind of rushing to Mythic, where if the town centers get destroyed behind it, the Loki just kind of falls apart. So that's what we saw. I mean, a tornado here and an earthquake here, and the Loki is just shut down at that point, just donezo. And I don't know, the only other potential way that F2 could save that was if player builds down here, but then I Kill You Die gets his third town center, and then it's a completely different matchup up here. So the game was lost when F2 didn't get an advantage, enough of an advantage with their early aggression.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Gold Lions got the 2 Vil picks and then helped collapse iKill's TC, and then outside of that, I can't think of anything else that Gold Lion really did this game.
No, likely it would. I think he was maybe a little bit slow to get. Yeah, the 10-minute town center is kind of slow. He went a little bit too heavy into that early army, and without getting any value in it, it's
I also
more
wonder
of...
if he capped himself with that early army and wasn't making Vils potentially too.
Let's see. Maybe a little bit here and here and here. It looks like he popped himself, but yeah, because normally what you would see like from your Atlantean is you get out an army of like 10 total units and then grab both town centers behind it and then just use those 10 units to raid. But it looked like Gold Lion kind of went for like 20 to 25 units, which then delays his town center grabs, and then he's just a little bit
popped out
slower.
on Terma and then kind of got no value out of said
Right,
Terma.
because then the Terma are still living by the time Champion Hippocon come out, at which point one Champion Hippocon can like kill 10 Terma, and they don't get any value. Let's give UCA their win. So 3-1, they win. They send F2 down to the bottom bracket here in the final 4 clans, playing in the Phoenix Reborn. Was the Norse pick the wrong choice? That is also a possibility, because F2 came into this map, which is normally a defensive map anyway, with Alfheim and also with the lower hunt, and they went aggro. They went Loki Uranos, which that's more of a combo you see in like a Marsh or a Tundra, Savannah kind of a thing, where there's hunt and it's wide open. So yeah, maybe, you know, hindsight's 2020, but this is a more defensive map, so going aggro here is a little bit off meta, and then you're just kind of hoping for the high hunt roll, which doesn't happen very much on Alfheim, and instead it was a low hunt roll, which then your Norse is just have a really hard time. Your Loki does. So yeah, I could see that where there was a little bit of a disadvantage going in. I don't know if you got any different thoughts, right, Fang?
Yeah, I do agree with you that I think the Greek and their late game strength and the god powers on this map, with it being an offensive map, gave them a bit of an advantage. But at the same time, I think F2 definitely could have played it a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy. Although I will say it's very easy for us to talk.
And even just like you said, the hunt thing, if the hunt situation's different, that can
Yeah.
also swing the game quite a bit.
But the probabilities are the hunt is going to be bad. Um, but anyway, that's going to close up the series for tonight. It's 10:45. That's a good time. Good time for me to go to bed. So hope you guys enjoyed the match here. I'll try as best as possible to hopefully do a recorded game cast of the remaining matches of the tournament, which at this point there's going to be one, two, three, maybe four more matches because we got the double-elim. So one, two, three, four, five, I think. So maybe we'll skip one depending on the timing. Um, do I think there could be god drafting in the tournament settings? I don't know if you really gain much with that in Age of Mythology, the god drafting.
I think if you limit it to like one Zeus or Hades per team, it would
Well,
speed things up a bit.
but are we talking if one player
Each
picks a
god can
god
only,
only be
yeah,
picked
each god can
once?
only be picked once.
Because
Actually, I think that would be a cool tournament. In part because it would force teams out of playing their standard like double Greek that we just saw.
I guess, yeah, you would see even more variety.
You'd break up
So,
the restos. You wouldn't have teams stacking like double resto and other kind of OP strats that
yeah,
they're used to.
yeah. It'll be interesting to try.
Throw in one ban too, and you can take away a Loki or a Hades. And
Yeah. Yeah, you ban though, but then you're probably just gonna get Loki banned on every land map, and to some extent, then well, I don't know. I can see there's pros and cons to it.
I'm gonna bring it up in OB chat, and maybe Void will run with it.
Yeah, but it's nice in this tournament though that you one team can't pick the same god twice. That's added some additional variety that we haven't normally seen. But yeah, that's a good thought, Sarwan. Sarwan. Yeah, Sarwan. I'm hoping VM. I can go with VM. But good thought. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that watched. Blossom Goose. Appreciate the kind words. Same thing for Sarwan. And appreciate all of you. So I'm going to turn it off and go to bed shortly. So take care, everybody. Have a good day or night.